Welcome back to The Muster Point, the podcast where veterans regroup, rip into each other, and try to remember why we ever signed those enlistment papers in the first place. I'm Stu Mendelson, ex-Royal Engineer, demolitions enthusiast, and a man who's had more questionable kit issued to him than he's had hot meals.
And I'm Steve Black, ex-Royal Tank Regiment, living proof that you don't actually need navigational skills to operate a 70-ton vehicle. And today, we've got a special treat, because for some reason, we've let an RAF regiment bloke into the mix again.
All right, pipe down, you lot. Introduce me properly, yeah? I'm the Chizard, the chicken lizard, RAF Reg, master of perimeter security, and proud owner of a camo net that's in more action than either of you combined.
Yeah, sorry, mate, but being elite at standing near a fence doesn't count as combat experience.
Honestly, I've seen more dangerous situations trying to operate a Klansman radio than you lot have faced guarding an airfield from an imaginary threat.
Oh, yeah? And remind me which one of us actually had a working shower and theatre, because I distinctly remember you lot smelling like a footlocker on a hot day.
Fair point. Anyway, today's episode is all about kit hits and kit misses, the best and worst gear we've ever been issued. We're talking weapons, webbing, rations, boots, everything from Gucci kit we all wanted to the absolute dog shit that never should have left the quartermaster's stores.
And let's be real, there's a lot more of the latter. If you've ever had a pair of boots that disintegrated on contact with water, or a radio battery that lasted about as long as Chiz's last field exercise, this episode's for you.
All right, say what you want about a RAF Reg, but at least we weren't humping 50 kilograms of pointless kit around for fun like you army lot.
This is the Muster Point, where the banter is relentless, the service records are questionable, and today, apparently, it's kit that's in the firing line. Right, let's get on with it before Chizard starts pretending he's seen combat. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We've got Chizard with us again. What are we doing, Steve, having him back?
Well, I did have a bit of feedback from a lady called Claire from York. She said he's got a lovely voice.
Really?
Yeah.
God.
They teach you to enunciate in the Royal Air
enunciate,
Force.
yes.
I interject.
Don't you know?
Everyone I've spoken to has brought up if I may interject, gentlemen.
Hey, manners cost nothing, gentlemen.
Exactly. Right, so what we've been up to this week, I know, Steve, you've been on nights, haven't you, with work?
I have,
so you've had no sleep, or have you?
Sleeps for wimps.
All right, yeah, okay, I get that. I remember those days. Chizard, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
What have you been up to? I know you turned up late this morning.
Yeah, I said 9:30, 10. I was right on time. What I've been up to? I've been busy, yeah. I was down in Brighton last week, went to a gig on a Thursday, lost my shoe in a mosh pit.
Nice.
That's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
Fucking big burly tattoo gits, and has anyone seen my shoe? Has anyone seen my shoe? Will you stop a minute? I did get it back.
Who did you go down there with? The RAF Reg? The old muckers?
Trouble and Strife,
right.
my cousin, and a couple of our mates as well.
Yeah, nice. So you had a good time?
Yeah, very good.
Days. Well, come on, Steve, you must have been up to something else because you missed the... I'm trying to think, the last time we'd done this was last Tuesday night, wasn't it? So we haven't had a Muster Point breakfast since then.
No, I've just been working, to be fair. That's what I call my shit week. 72 hours in a week.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And reminders, who do you work for?
Me.
So interestingly, both Chizard and Steve work for Coca-Cola, and next week we're going to be talking about life after the forces and employment. So that'd be a good one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's a few veterans at our place, and I'll have a chat with a few of them.
So do you know what the highlight of my week was? So me and my Mrs. Kirsty, we get our food shopping delivered, as you can in the 21st century. And so we'd tried Tesco's, we've done Sainsbury's, but the last couple of weeks we've changed to a Ocado, is it? Ocado?
Ocado, yeah, I think.
And do you know what? So I don't know if either of you two have the shopping delivered, but you always get substitutions. And with Ocado, we haven't had it yet, and we're buzzing. It's absolutely brilliant.
What's the most ridiculous things they've swapped out? What have you had?
I don't know, like a vegetarian pasta dish for like hamburger or something. It's like...
It used to be good though. I remember years ago when I started doing food shopping, you get substituted and it would be better. They always substitute it for something better. So it's like, well, we had a right result. Got bird's eye instead of Asda.
Yeah. But now with Ocado, you don't get it. They've been 100% spot on.
Well done.
Steve won't go there then, by the sounds of it. He's not getting free promotions.
They're like the Royal Engineers of the British Forces.
Always deliver, yeah, right.
Yeah. Because that was the other thing. So a couple of weeks ago when we had Chizard on, so I've had clarification that basically the Royal Flying Corps did come from the Royal Engineers. But I've also had another bit of information, Steve.
Yeah.
And this was brought up to me by Mick Knowles. The first tank was invented by a Royal Engineers officer, Ernest Swinton.
Well done, Ernest.
Yeah.
What tank was
Yeah,
that?
that's what I was going to say.
I don't know.
Oh,
I didn't fully research it, but I'm just taking credit being a Royal Engineer. We don't just build shitters and showers on tour. And it's funny. So last night,
The first tanks are really shit, though, weren't they?
yeah, they were bad.
you were like that, thinking, "How can I come back? How can I come back?" But yeah, you're right. Yeah, so I met Mick Knowles last night because he was down. Asked him a few questions, so we're going to get him involved in a quiz at some point on the Royal Engineers. He did want to clear up a few things, that he's not 5 foot and he's not a T-Rex. But I sent you a picture, didn't I, Steve, of us both? What did you say?
He looks like a little homeless Bosnian.
Wasn't it an Albanian car washer?
Yeah.
Quality. What else has happened? We're still so in terms of the muster point, I mentioned the other week about setting the muster point up as a community benefit society. So Chizard's coming on board with that.
I'm the new slutty secretary, and I.
Yeah, that's it. That's your title.
Sexy secretary, whatever you want to call me.
Yeah. You have to like turn up with your shirt off and it.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of films involving secretaries so I know what I'm doing.
Wasn't that a plumber and a photocopier?
Yeah, luckily, there was all there. Yeah.
I want to speak about something that we've had highlighted to us, and this one's for you, Steve, about the Samaritans Veterans Act.
Yeah, my wife actually noticed a comment on Facebook, and it was someone asking Combat Stress if there's a 24-hour helpline. And they said they're not 24-hour, but you should use the Samaritans Veterans app. So I thought I'll download it and see what it's about. And it failed straight away. Just come up, website failed, or app failed. So I said to you, Stu, didn't I? Why don't you download and try it? And you had the same problem. So
it's ridiculous,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's disgusting, really. And I had a meeting with the NHS on Friday just to discuss what we're doing and how we can help each other. And I told them about it, so they'll probably do nothing.
Yeah. But it just comes back to that thing that about like nothing seems fit for purpose, whether it's this app or...
Why bother? You've got the Samaritans, which do a great job. And for me, it might not be how they sell themselves, but when you're at rock bottom, if literally you're stood on that platform waiting for a train, the only people you can phone is the Samaritans. And if they're telling you to use an app, the Veterans app, and it doesn't work, it's not really going to save you, is it? So why not just have the Samaritans for everyone?
If it works, it works.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, so I don't know why they've wasted money and time.
Well, maybe they haven't wasted any money because it bloody don't work, does it?
Yeah, but then the other charities telling people to use that, and they need to be aware of it. So we're going to let them know.
Yeah, like you say, if that's the last point of contact before they do something they will regret. Then
Because that's the thing. Because I was aware that Combat Stress had a 24-hour helpline, and I thought, that's good. That's a good thing. And then hearing that actually it's not 24-hour, and out of hours they direct you to this app, which is bollocks. Basically, it's not good enough.
It's
again.
like when I did it, it was quite scary. I don't need that sort of help, thank God. But the thought that someone might need help, and and it was a horrible feeling, really.
You were stood there when I downloaded it and set it up. And it was like you had to register. You had to then activate from your email, and it's like it's not what you need, is it?
What was your first dog's name?
But it's not good enough. And you know what? I had a conversation with somebody from Tom Harrison House who'd spoken to the Veterans Minister, and apparently across all these organisations and charities that support veterans, there's like over £1 billion.
Yeah,
like you could solve a lot of fucking issues with £1 billion, couldn't you? If it was put to good purpose with a focus.
I think there's a lot of money sat in accounts where people, there's so many smaller charities.
Yeah.
That, the regiments have died off. Like been amalgamated and disbanded.
Yeah.
Money's just sat there, and people I don't know. It needs sorting out anyway.
I found it interesting on my deep dive of charities that the BFBS, the broadcasting service, is actually set up as a charity. It declared £30 million on its last account, and it's got a contract with the MOD to, I don't know what you'd call it, like produce media content for British forces overseas and in the UK. But I was chatting to Mick about it last night, and so you get the BFBS content, but you also get like Neighbours, or not Neighbours, that's got EastEnders and BBC News, which the BBC aren't going to give that for free. And I don't know, it just, both me and Mick couldn't, how's that a charity? And I don't know.
But then, like, we've went on our journey of setting up the muster point. Quite a few people have said to us, "Why don't you set up as a charity? You know, it makes this that you can get funding, you can, you know." But we didn't want to do that. But it's quite easy to set a business up as a charity.
It makes you wonder, like you say, what figure did you say? 1 billion, is it? 30
million for
30 million,
BFBS.
sorry. 1 billion over the head. Yeah, I mean, that's just like one, if that is a charity, that's one figure from one charity. I mean, the British Legion, who I collect for every year for the Poppy Appeal, they normally, just for the Stevenage branch, get around for the last 3 years about 100k.
Yeah.
And that's just one branch. And you think,
Mad,
and the next village along has got a branch, the next village along has got a branch.
Yeah.
And like, there's so much money, which is great. But yeah, you just, and it's not very transparent as you to be able to see quite clearly where that money's going. I don't know, maybe a bit more transparency would be beneficial.
Well, I saw on LinkedIn, and I think I shared it with you, Steve, that the British Legion were advertising for a job, and it must have been a senior position, because I think the salary was 60 odd grand a year, and it's fair enough if if you need to attract talent, didn't you?
I know what you're going to say, yeah.
But it had about the pension, and the employer contributions on the pension was 14%. I work for a charity, and my employer will contribute 3% if I contribute 5%, which is like, I think that's the bare minimum for auto enrolment. But 14%
For a charity.
It's a charity, yeah.
Like, we work for Coca-Cola, it's a massive company, and we don't get that.
No, we don't get that.
It's just incredible. Can't remember what the job was, but it was a management position. But like benefits of a 14% employer's contribution, that's maybe if you were the CEO or something, but I don't know.
There was another one, sorry. There was another one, may I interject? There was another one. There was one that my missus saw that she told me about was for the British Legion, diversity, inclusion and equality manager. And that was 60, 70k, I remember. And I didn't see the pension
More than
figure.
that, I think it was 80k.
Yeah, it's something staggering, you know what I mean? It's just
10%, 14%, you know, a percentage of 80 grand is a lot of money. So I don't know.
It just doesn't sit right with me, to be fair. And of course, like you mentioned about the local British Legions, and our local British Legion, well, they sent you basically they've set up a party or I don't know what you'd call it. What is it? Come on, you boys, explain it, because you know. Although I'm probably throwing you under the bus because...
Yeah, they might be listening. Well, no. Yeah, I think there was a bit of a mix-up on a clerical error, as you say. We got an email saying they're having the 80th anniversary for the D-Day.
Which was last year, right?
Yeah, which was last year. So I ignored it, but we saw Keith last week, and he said, no, that's for the VE Day celebrations. And but I said, well, that's not what he said in the email. He said, yes, it did. Anyway, we got the email out, and it did not say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was, what was it, 19 quid for you get, Steve?
Bit of turkey in it or something, bit of cold
Pate.
meat.
Yeah. Nice.
So again, this is why young people need to get involved. I think help out, you know.
Well, so we've come up with a plan, haven't we? We're going to have a muster point celebration of the 80th anniversary of VE Day.
If they're doing D-Day, we'll do VE.
Yeah. We'll do the proper one, and we're going to speak to the council and arrange that. So hopefully we can do it bigger and better.
Got strippers and everything.
Yeah. Well, do you know
they're from the Legion? It's the ladies from the Legion.
the WI. Yeah. So do you know I don't know if you boys see the video I put on Facebook of the week Chisard was here. I think it was the bit about the BMP where I had that Freudian slip. So I don't know if you noticed the background, either of you.
No.
Was it the old Stanter buildings? Was that it?
No. So on this occasion, the background was a place in Paderborn called Harems, one of the old sauna clubs. So maybe we can get Get the women
Ream
over. Get them over for VE day.
I've heard about this place, and a couple of the lads off the squadron went out over for Mastiff training. I think it was a Reams, and they just said it was paradise.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I never went, but they said you go in, you get a dressing gown, like, and you, loads of grub and that, and just like, tidy birds.
Pay like 30 odd euro. Well, I've heard that you pay 30 odd euros, and you get your locker. It's like going to a gym. You strip off your clothes, put it in a locker. You get a dressing gown, or you can walk around a towel.
And there's food.
Yeah, yeah. So all included in that price is like a sort of buffet, hot wings and that sort of like help yourself, and then your drinks are free as well.
You know,
That's class.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
I wonder if he's still going.
100% it is. Right.
That's where I'd have our VED celebrations. So that'd be class.
What, in Germany?
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
Right, so let's move on. So the icebreaker question this week, and obviously we're going to be talking about kit and equipment, should have got that in there, is what's the biggest kit failure you've ever experienced in the field?
Shall I go first?
If you've got one.
Just trying to think top of my head. I didn't really think about this. I mean,
I didn't go in the field.
yeah, well, my biggest kit failure, I turn up, and this is not the kit, this was me, I think. I'd say that. I had a CWS on my rifle overnight, and then we had our admin in the field inspection the next morning.
Yeah.
Anyway, so obviously you're always in a fucking rush. You've had 2 hours sleep. And come the morning, I could not get the CWS off my rifle, sorry. And I was trying so hard. I asked my mucker who's in the fucking shell scope with me, would not come off. I've turned up for this inspection, and it was like not sort of known as one of the harder inspections as well to pass. And you get like 90 minutes and do all your field admin, have a shave and have breakfast and that. Turned up, I was thinking, one of the basics, full screws will give me a hand and just like take it off before we start. Rocked up at 7 a.m, whatever it is, fucking glaring sunlight with this CWS on my rifle. They went fucking ballistic. And they went, well, you fucking fell before you fucking started, didn't you? So I was doing this 90-minute admin. No, I was going to have to do it the next day as well. And I was fuming. But yeah, I don't know if that counts as kit or me. But like I say, my mucker couldn't get it off as well. So I reckon the kit was busted.
Oh, it's a story, isn't it? So it filled the air for a bit. Have you got one, Steve?
I have the worst thing I ever used. I'll show you a picture now. But anyway, this stuff here it's called Kestrel body armour.
Oh yeah.
Before, it was in between the ECBA and Osprey. It was like people used to call it the Elvis suit because it had a massive collar, massive arms, and you couldn't do nothing. You couldn't get in a prone position because your helmet was facing you'd face the floor.
Yeah.
You couldn't fire an aimed shot, and that was what we was issued in Iraq. It was disgraceful, really.
Well, even for on the ground, because I thought that was a top cover bit of kit. If you were on top cover on a vehicle,
it was mainly top cover, but in Iraq, everyone was. You very rarely done foot patrols really in Iraq.
Yeah.
In Badr, it was always you get out and do 5 and 20s.
Yeah.
And clear the route. But the top cover, all that. And the top cover, are the ones who cleared the route. So
how could you do 5 and 20s with that? It's like, like you take your dog to the vet and it comes back with that head collar on.
Worse than that, like we had to share it. So we only had a certain amount in the squadron, so we had to share it round.
That is incredible.
It was disgraceful.
So no one else in the wagon would get out and do the 5s and 20s. Why was the top cover? I'd have thought you'd get the top cover up there. Would the driver commander or extra bod?
I can't remember now. One of the top cover would get down or something like that. Anyway,
he's never even been to Iraq.
He's getting found out.
But it was shameful, really, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, the tank crews in the invasion of Iraq, they had to give up their body armour because there wasn't enough to go around.
Yeah.
Jesus.
People lost their lives because of that.
Yeah. Shit, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, politicians don't have to answer for that.
Yeah.
I bet the Storeman had loads that he was giving
I bet
out.
he
Like
did.
fucking
stores are for storing.
exactly.
Gentlemen.
Yeah. Like that prizing out their dead fingers.
Oh. Yeah, so for me, it was a bit of a failure. So on Herrick 11, one of my roles was Panther commander, so I was in charge of
Don't
the
mention
gun.
Panther with him about.
The GPMG on top.
The beast.
The beast, yeah, the general. It was all joystick control with a heads-up display from the cab. We was on a vehicle patrol and we were in a contact, and it was the first time I'd used it with any sort of anger. Fired off a couple of rounds in a bloody stoppage. So you had the 7.62 ammo box with the link, and then it'd feed into a
Feed tray.
That's it. Yeah, so there was a stoppage. So it had the old cupola in the roof, but there was no way I was getting through that with all the with all my body armour on. So I had to get out. I didn't really want to step on the ground just in case. So it was like an obstacle course to get on top of the Panther and clear this stoppage. And I'll tell you one thing, in the middle of a firefight, you don't want to be silhouetted on the top of a vehicle. So it was probably the quickest stoppage drill I'd ever carried out. Got back in, started firing again, another stoppage.
Unstopped.
And basically, I had to like remove the feed tray, and then it worked fine. But yeah, nightmare.
Didn't they have like a hatch, like a sunroof?
Yeah, Cupola.
Yeah,
That's what a Cupola is, mate.
I've never heard that, but I guess that's what it was. Yeah, I never heard
I
of
thought you
that.
said you had to like get out on the ground to get up on the top.
Yeah, I did. I couldn't fit through the Cupola with all my. Weren't you listening to me, mate? Fucking hell, I was bleeding my soul out then. Yeah, it was like the hatch in the top in the roof.
I'm saying you think it'd be designed so you could clear a stoppage,
Yeah, ridiculous.
change the barrel, things like that.
To be fair, I mean, I'd done that RWS course, and yeah, it's easy when you're learning it because you're just in your fucking, I don't know, your combats, isn't you?
Yeah.
You no body armor, no
Yeah.
helmet, so yeah, piece of piss, go through the hatch. But
Yeah. And I remember my staff sergeant at the time, so he was in the back of the vehicle. I'm composing myself to get out and do what I had to do. And he was just like, go on then, Stu. And it was like, fuck off, mate. Like, wind your neck in.
did he give you a double thumbs up?
Yeah, one of them blokes, like, go on.
Go on, mate.
And I'm like
Another thing I think is disgraceful was when we was in basic training, I don't know about the ref. We got Ronil runners.
Silver shads? Or...
No, these were leggings.
Oh, the leggings, yeah, Ronil, sorry.
Ronil
yeah.
runners. Why did we have to wear them?
We didn't.
That was always too small as well. You could see all your plums and that.
I do. After last week's story about the old cough and drop,
Yeah.
I didn't think your plums were down yet.
No, I was a bit older then.
What did you have to wear them for? Runs and
Which
I know, all the
PT?
time.
Yeah. When you were,
really?
when you was just in the block doing your block jobs, all that sort of stuff, get your Ronils on. It's horrible.
Black boots, fucking basic training black boots. They were horrible.
Black boot.
Yeah, like just a regular
Not like the
blackish.
issue.
Yeah. I thought
Yeah.
they were fucking horrendous.
Okay.
I used to cut my feet to ribbons.
Boots Combat High.
Huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Boots Combat High.
Is that what they were called?
Yeah, they get all nice ones now.
Yeah, they get
Oh,
fucking.
I
Do
think
they have lowers?
Yeah,
now?
lowers,
fucking hell.
Altbergs, get all the
Bloody
Gucci
hell.
stuff, mate. Yeah, so that was one of the hardest things for me in basics was my fucking feet would be absolute ribbons. Yeah, you can imagine. Give me,
Terrible.
have you got a sigh sympathy sound on there? Have you?
Nah.
Well, you need one. Little violin, something like that.
We can do this.
You fucking should do.
Is that good enough for
Oh,
you?
yeah, I have to do.
But good kit. I quite like the Silver Shadows, to be quite honest. I know they was horrific looking, but they were
You can get them in JD Sports for about 45 quid now.
45
Yeah.
quid. Yeah, they're not that good.
And the rumour went round they were built, made by inmates.
Oh.
I don't know. Do you know those shit stories like duty rumour?
Another good bit of kit was the L7 GPMG, the Beast.
All right. You're getting ready yourself now. Come on, that was only the icebreaker. He's like running away.
These are just mine. I've got plenty of others that our listeners and viewers have messaged in.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a minute.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about a bit of armed forces and veterans news. Have you got anything, Steve?
Other than the old Trump thing.
Oh, yeah,
Trump
we
and
need,
Zelensky.
we need to cover that, don't we?
It was horrible. So I don't know why it was filmed. I still don't believe it was. I feel like it was staged. I feel like it's genius. There's something behind the scenes because it was just. It was so unprofessional.
Yeah, from the American side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
Zelensky
I
was-
don't know why the vice president and other people were having a pop at him.
Yeah.
So for me, the only person who can talk to him the way they did was Trump because they are they're
On
leaders.
the
and-
same level.
yeah, no one else should be allowed to have a pop at him.
Yeah.
And yeah, he didn't wear a suit.
It was embarrassing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Yeah.
Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Would he say the same to an African leader when he turns up in, their colourful?
Yeah.
Completely right.
Yeah, I just feel that was petty.
Yeah.
I do feel like you're going to the White House. You should dress up a little bit.
Yeah.
But he didn't. Who
And
cares?
to be
His
fair,
country's-
it was one of the reporters that brought it up.
Yeah.
It's like, wind your neck in, mate.
That's what I mean. I think the only person who's got the right to criticise him is Trump.
And you do it behind closed doors as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You wouldn't
Yeah,
fucking
so
do
that's
it
what I'm
in
saying. I feel
public
like
eye.
it was staged, but hopefully it was.
I think. Sorry, I think he's doing it because like from dot one, he's been in civvy combats. Isn't
Yeah,
it? And I think maybe he just carries on because he's highlighting the fact that Ukraine's still at war.
yeah.
Like, and maybe that's how it's in. But yeah,
I don't know. I feel like, Ukraine has had a lot of support of the Western world.
Yeah.
And I think Trump's just making a stand. And but like I say, I feel like there's more to it, like this mineral deal.
Mm.
If that means putting US companies in Ukraine,
Yeah.
is that not protecting Ukraine? Because surely Russia can't. If there's an area that US businesses are operating, mining, whatever they do, then surely Russia can't touch that area. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's more to it. Trump's not good at. He's very cryptic, and the way he deals with things, comes out with stuff. So I feel like there's a lot more to it.
Yeah. But that's the thing, innit, with war, and we've spoken about the money and all that, rich getting richer, because it was KBR. KBR was is an American national company, isn't it? But they basically do everything, don't they? Yeah. Like construction, security, whatever you want it, we can do it. Because I remember Fob Shawkat, the plan was to hand it over to KBR.
Oh, wow.
Like eventually. It's like, I mean, I don't know if that ever happened, but it's just, it's that thing, innit? Well, we'll come and help you if we get billions of pounds worth of contracts, which, I mean, for all the will in the world and wanting to be nice, like, we're not going to do it for free, sort of thing. Yeah. So, yeah, it is crazy.
I don't know. This war has dragged out so long now, and I don't know. I feel like it's going to be like who can last the longest. Like Russia's lost 9 generals.
Okay,
it's like unheard of.
Wow,
in this day and age. Like, I know we've had lieutenant colonels die.
Are they the ones that Putin's just had assassinated?
No, well, possibly, yeah. But yeah, like their interest is about 21%.
Putin's got you a new bottle of aftershave. Here you are.
It's like, I was looking at the cost of living over there at the minute, and a litre of petrol at the minute in Moscow is 47p.
Yeah.
And they're moaning about that. So what was it before?
I know.
A litre of milk is 88p, and that is extortionate. Apparently, it's gone up 70%.
Yeah. What's it over here? I'll have to check my arcade.
Probably £1.50, £1.50.
Yeah.
Something like, more than what they're paying. But obviously, their cost of living is different. Their salaries
and their quality of living.
Yeah. So our government's announced they're going to have a 3%. Their defence spending is going to be 3%, which is about 13.4 billion extra.
Yeah.
But then we've give Ukraine all of our AS-90s. Every AS-90 has now been given to Ukraine.
Okay.
We've replaced them with 14 Archers. So I just feel like...
Can you explain to the non-military listeners what that is?
I think it's a similar gun to the AS-90, but it's a lorry, basically.
What's an AS-90?
Oh, sorry. It's an artillery system of the 1990s. It's a self-propelled gun. Looks like a tank, but it fires... It's a howitzer.
Yeah, okay.
How many of them did we have that we're giving them?
Quite a lot, all of them. I don't know. There must have been, 50, 60, something. I don't know, to be fair. I should have done my research.
Oh, yeah.
But we've replaced our main artillery system with 14, I don't think they're French, and they're the Archers. But yes, I feel like we've left ourselves short, really. I know, touch wood, we don't need them, but yeah, it's a bit of a funny one. And I'm pretty sure there's more coming in the pipeline, but I'm surprised we just give everything away before then.
So Keir Starmer met Trump, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think it went a lot better than everyone was expecting.
I was shocked because the Labour government really slagged Trump off.
Yeah.
They campaigned for Biden. You got the likes of David Lammy, and that they campaigned for Trump to be banned from coming to the UK.
Yeah.
Sadiq Khan put up a fucking let a balloon go up the knee of Donald Trump, like a
I do feel like there's something coming our way.
Well, there's one thing to be said about us having a royal family, because the Americans love the royal family, and when Keir Starmer can go over and give a personal letter from the King saying, I invite you to Buckingham Palace for cigars and whiskey or whatever.
That's an ace up our sleeve, that, isn't it? Just give him a letter from the King.
Exactly.
Recruitment in the army's down, the British forces is down. It's been going down the last few years.
Yeah.
More people are leaving than are joining. They reckon they're going to sort that out with this extra money.
Okay.
But then...
Because I know we've spoken about they're bringing in that new recruitment system, whatever that looks like.
When you look at what's happening with the Northern Ireland veterans, young people are seeing that. Then you've got recently the SAS have been accused of murdering people in Afghanistan, and again, there's a witch hunt.
Yeah.
Then you got what happened recently with the females making accusations, but things have happened to females and just a mistreatment, and it's all on the media.
And men as well, don't forget.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and it's just all negative, and money's not going to solve that. So I don't know what's going to happen.
And it's that it needs a change of attitude. Yeah. And I think it stems from, like, as a nation, we've lost that pride in our nation, because
Yeah.
it's almost like
Yeah.
us and them. That I feel let down by my country, and I'm not saying just as a veteran, but as a member of society.
I see a protest in, I think it's Manchester the other day, and there was people ripping up and burning Union Jacks.
Yeah, yeah,
Fucking hell.
Yeah, young British people, white British people.
yeah. It's mad, isn't it?
What is that? And the police stood there, watched it. And
Yeah.
I know it's not.
That wouldn't.
But why is that not a hate crime?
Yeah.
Well, it should
Like,
be.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it should be.
I know, like the far right groups have taken over the Union Jack and that, but that is because that's their country.
Yeah.
But it stands for a lot more than far
Yeah.
right groups at the end of the
Well,
day.
remember on land it's a Union flag. It's
Sorry,
only a Jack when it's at sea.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But no, I agree with you. It's like people have lost pride or respect. They feel disassociated
Yeah.
from their country, and it causes fragmentation
Yeah.
in
I
society.
think people are scared to cause offence by
Oh yeah,
flying a
eggshells.
flag because
Yeah.
you've heard so much. I don't know. It's just,
I think like in schools, the kids should start their day by singing the national anthem.
it's never going to happen, is it? In this
Yeah.
country, it just wouldn't.
Do you remember back in, I don't know, the 50s or even possibly the 60s, you'd go to the cinema and the film would start and end with the national anthem and on TV?
I don't remember that.
No, neither do I. I don't, but
In Ireland, in a pub, they call last orders and they play the national anthem.
yeah.
Everyone stands up.
But when TV,
Yeah,
before it was 24-hour, and back in the day when it stopped, it would play the national
Yeah.
anthem.
I think perhaps maybe you just need some middle ground. If you take America for example, and like you say, they play the theme tune or what's it called?
Theme tune.
Play the national anthem. Yeah. Play the national anthem at school and that, and they all sing it or whatever. If you go over to the States, you see how patriotic they are.
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
And,
Brad
and
said
look,
that.
look after their vets
Yeah.
and that, and it's fucking brilliant.
Vets are important because if you've got animals, they need looking after.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
But yeah, you've got like sort of, I wouldn't even say it's an extreme, but they're the world leaders in patriotism, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah, without doubt.
And if we bring, no, I'm not saying go to that level, but we're so far away from that. So
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
say,
Well, it's
what is-
almost like a crime to be British.
yeah.
I feel like
how can we get to that middle ground? Not
Yeah, I
from
feel like
where we are
schools and
to-
universities are breeding very left-wing ideology.
Woke.
Yeah, very woke, and it's almost like you've got to be ashamed of British past,
Yeah.
the British Empire.
Well, as they say, like history's there to teach us.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you end up knocking down these statues or forgetting about Hitler, then
it repeats itself.
it
as they
repeats
say.
itself.
I'm like, the British Empire was the most powerful empire there ever was. If Britain didn't do it, someone else would have done it.
Yeah.
A lot of good come from it as well. People forgetting that.
Yeah.
And with regards to the slavery thing, it wasn't started by Britain. That was started by Portugal. Well, actually, it was started thousands of years before that. By Arabs and people like Romans. But the Colosseum's still standing. They ain't got that down yet.
Well, it's falling apart, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to see that next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, the Royal Navy had ships that went out and there was
Yeah.
anti-slavery ships. And
Yeah.
as it happens, I've been doing a bit of research on funny names of ships. And
Oh,
there
go
was-
on.
The most successful anti-slavery ship was HMS Black Joke.
Okay.
Jesus.
And that comes from, and it was in the 1800s, I think the ship was. Black Joke was a vulgar word for a lady's genitals.
All right.
No relation to the colour of skin or nothing, but it was actually spelled Joak.
Okay.
That was in the 1700s. There was a song written about a lady's bits.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
called the Black Joke, and the ship was named after that. So
That-
not,
Do you know how the song goes?
I don't actually.
That would be class. I love
But
that.
yeah, HMS Black Joke was the most successful anti-slavery ship.
What does most successful mean as a
Like,
slave?
it saved more slaves.
Oh, it saved slaves.
It prevented.
Right, I
more-
thought you meant like that was the one that got the most over or something. I was thinking fucking hell, Steve. I don't know if you care. That's the most successful, mate.
It stopped more people becoming slaves than any
Right,
other ship.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Context is key.
Interesting, that. Yeah, definitely. You said vets are important, and as we're talking about kit and equipment, I've got a news story. So the MOD are testing and developing robotic dogs for bomb disposal. You can see that there. So it's like it's literally like a robotic dog. It's what it looks like. What you're imagining, people, is what it looks like. In my career as a surveyor, so there are these robot dogs that can, with scanners on, so they can go into buildings and you go up and down steps and scan the building for survey purposes. And I've seen some test videos of the designers testing them. And the thing would be running along and there'd be like this weighted hammer thing come out of nowhere and sort of try creaming it in. And the thing just withstands it. It like knocks it and it's like off again. And definitely technology is the way forward, and particularly with bomb disposal, if you can take the human out of it, that's a good thing. I just wonder how much this shit's going to cost.
Yeah. Oh, they've got 13.4 billion.
Oh, yeah.
If it saves one dog, then no price is enough for me.
When I was at Fob Shawcat, we had a fob dog. His name was Trevor. So we got taken into the fob because, so a dog, well, if an animal hasn't got a purpose, like the Afghanis just like ruin it. I don't know when you was there when that you used to have wild dogs running
The
around.
land sharks, we call them land
Oh, was
sharks.
it?
Yeah.
But this
Furry
dog,
crocodile.
this dog Trevor got rescued from a load of Afghan kids because they were like cutting its ears off, ripping its eyes out and that. When I turned up, it was there and it wouldn't come up to you because it had a massive distrust of humans, which was fair enough. But it was Trevor, the fob dog.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Funny enough, when I was in Iraq, there was we had 3 dogs and about 5 cats and a couple of rabbits.
Yeah.
We used to collect these animals, and these rabbits weren't like just brown rabbits; they were black and white. They was like pet rabbits, and they lived in our camp in Harmony. And we had all these cats that again lived in Harmony, and they catch.
Where was Camp Harmony?
In Qazar in Iraq?
Yeah.
But we had 3 dogs, and one of them, the main dog, was Scarface because he had a big scar on his face. And he had a
Inventive.
massive lipstick.
Yeah.
And we
Lipstick.
we feed him Viagra.
Did ya? Fuck.
And he used to come and we used to
That is strange, isn't it?
every day. Every day we go out.
I
and
don't
do
know where this
wide
story's
awake.
going now, but I don't like it.
Like every day you done up wide awake, so you go around the perimeter of the
Yeah,
camp and show a presence, and the dogs would come with us, and like, Scarface would have his lipstick out, but the Iraqis hated it because they didn't
Yeah.
like dogs.
Yeah, yeah,
Then we had another dog called Puppy because he was a puppy,
yeah.
and then the other one was called PJ because we nicked him from a place called the P-Jock.
Okay.
So yeah, that was our 3 dogs. But they used to come on patrol with us.
Yeah. The A&A had a puppy. We saw them booting it round and that.
Oh.
And we were like, gonna
yeah.
grip them up. And our boss was like, don't get involved because it will just cause issues. And it's like, fucking disgusting bastards.
We've done these patrols down to, I think it was Saudi Arabia or something. We just drive for days in the desert and check on these little border faults. And we got to one, and there was this massive generator, and there was a dog next to it. We had a look, and these Iraqis had shot the dog
Yeah.
in its rear leg and just put it next to the generator
Okay.
to die. And it was all rotten, and we was asking our boss if we could shoot it,
Yeah, put it out his misery.
and he wouldn't let us.
Yeah.
So we started feeding it, and the Iraqis were getting the ump because we was feeding the dog.
Fucking hell.
And I lost a lot of respect for the Iraqi army after seeing that. It was
Mad, isn't it?
That's
horrible.
rough.
That's probably one of the things that's haunted me more than anything.
Yeah, I can
Seeing
imagine.
Dead mates, dead people, all that sort of stuff. But this poor dog,
Yeah.
done nothing wrong. And
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're going to kill something, kill it.
Yeah.
But to shoot it in its leg and just leave it there.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that if you're going to kill something, you should eat it. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get these people that
Like
go
lizards.
out hunt, killing stuff
Yeah,
for
fun.
what? Enjoyment.
Yeah, like sheep.
Yeah.
Right,
Got
at least
it.
a sheep you can eat.
Not when you shot it with a tank.
Fair one.
No, but something hit it. Like,
Yeah.
I hate seeing animals in the middle of the road. Like dead on the side of the road. Crows will eat that. Foxes will eat it. When it's just in the road, getting run over again and again.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Waste.
Yeah.
What a waste of a life.
Yeah.
Right, one final one, kit and equipment.
Yeah. So basically, the armour plates that the MOD used to use, which some of you be familiar with, are the ones that used to go into CBAs. So I'm not sure if it's just the smaller ones or the big ones as well. But yeah, they recalled 120,000 bits of kit, bits of that kit, because 1 in 10 apparently were cracking.
Do we still get issued them?
Cracking is in good.
Do we still get issued them?
I know. I don't know about you, but when you're on live firing exercises,
yeah.
we'd be using them then. And
Yeah.
like, obviously, you don't generally. Nobody got shot when I was on a live firing exercise, but there is a chance that that could happen. You did hear stories, so if that was the only thing that was going to fucking save your life, and
Yeah.
it weren't up to standard.
They was used more like transiting to and from theatre, weren't they, when you're on a plane? I did think that was absolutely pointless because it was like the size of a DVD case. And yeah, they probably did save a life or two, but the extra weight he was carrying and how awkward it was, I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I think were they? I know. I think they were slightly different plates to the ones that went on the Osprey, because the side plates that went in the Osprey were the same size.
Yeah, we never used them in the Osprey.
you know?
I know you could put them in a
Yeah,
side,
yeah.
but it was the same plate. It's like, say, that DVD case sort of
Yeah,
size.
yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't go anywhere dangerous enough to put them in. We had to wear them on camp, mate. They're naffy.
In case them big army boys started on you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. you mean the WAFs?
Interestingly, I was, I think it was last week when I was on my way to the muster point and I was picking up the milk. Went to the shop and the civvy in front of me had Combat 95 DPM CBA on, like no plates, obviously. I was like that. I was going to go, You ex-forces, are you, mate? Do you want to come to the muster point?
They spent a lot of money. Probably about 2005. Tank crews got issued this new body armour.
Yeah.
And it was really good, to be fair, but you couldn't put any plates in it. So it was the actual body armour, the Kevlar vest, if you like, the thick padding. And it was really good bit of kit, but you couldn't put the plates in it. How much money did they waste on that?
Yeah.
Well, we'll go on to more kit like that. The amount of money the MOD's wasted on shit kit. Right, we're coming to the listener hook, which I've renamed the listener sit rep.
Which means what?
Situation report.
Oh.
So we want to hear from you.
What is the best kit you was ever issued or the worst kit you was ever issued?
So have we got any other stories that have come in from our listeners? This is the point where you can go through it, Steve. It doesn't have to be about kit. It could be about...
Stuttering Smithy.
Yep, there he is.
Got a question for Chizard.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
Is the 5 miles of death really as hard as it sounds?
It's harder than the army. Anything the army's ever done. Yeah.
So what is the 5 miles of death?
I forget his name. This old timer. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a basics course. I assume it was. It looks like there's a video obviously floating about from fucking 2005 or something. And the backdrop is, I don't know, some training area. And then, he's giving this absolute hero speech. This I think he's a flight sergeant or sergeant at the time. He's giving an absolute hero speech. He's like, you're not in the Royal Marines. You're not in the Paras. You're in the RAF regiment. And he said, so now
we could stand with toe to toe with the Paras and the Marines in the bar.
Yeah, did he say that? I can't remember, but I hope he didn't. He probably did. Yeah, so obviously.
But what is
it's
this
not a thing. It's not a thing.
Oh, isn't it?
It was just,
okay.
They did this at this training area. I don't know for what reason. I don't know if they fucked up or if it was just a Friday tab with a hero speech included. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Was it definitely the RAF Reg?
It was
taking the piss, pretending.
No. Unfortunately, this definitely was the RAF Reg. Yeah, because the geezer, like I say, I think he became an MP for. I think it was for the BNP or something. Funny enough, around where is it? Not fucking Thetford way, I believe. You could probably dig him up.
So it's not actually a part of your training. It was just this
right,
we're going to do this today.
No, yeah, I can't say I've ever done specifically the 5 mile of death. Obviously,
I didn't know that.
Been on tabs and of course, but
do you know what tab stands for?
No, go on.
You don't.
No,
Steve.
Tactical Advanced Battle.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah. Oh, so we just called it a TAR then.
The other question I got asked, I can't remember who asked me now, but it's a woke question. It's can a civilian identify as a veteran?
Fuck it.
Okay. Right, name and shame that person.
I can't remember. Might have been my missus, actually, to be fair.
Oh, was it?
It was on, you've got people who identifying as cats and dogs. So why can't they identify as a veteran?
Well, because the UK government defines a veteran that is any person that's served in the armed forces.
What does the UK government define as a dog?
Well, that's the thing. They don't, do they?
I've seen people dressed up as
a dog. This is what I'm saying. The UK, there isn't a definition in the UK government policies or whatever of what a dog is. But,
so
but there is a policy that says a UK veteran is somebody that's served in the armed forces for a minimum of 24 hours.
I don't think it says 24 hours, does it? I think it says a day.
Or a day. Fucking hell.
It's quite badly written, really, isn't it?
Aaron Baker was just shy then, was he?
Oh, that's a low blow.
Dug him out.
Who's this?
One of my bosses.
Yeah, an old mate of mine who works at Coke as well. And I think he got injured on his first week in the army. Can't remember what he was trying to do.
I thought it was longer than that.
Was it? Yeah. But I think he got injured pretty quick. But then he spent a few months just getting a free healthcare. Then
he was a biff.
Toddled off. Yeah, and
did you get biffs in the RAF?
Yeah, biffs.
Yeah, he had a laminated biff chip.
Yeah, did he?
But gave up.
And I think by armed forces they also include the merchant navy as long as you've been on an operational tour. Yeah. Not as in like you were just on the P&O cruise across the channel.
I think that's also the people who work in the NAFI and stuff like when you go on ops. I think they call it the FE.
Okay.
Yeah, I think now
well, they get veteran status.
I think so.
Really?
They get a medal.
Do they?
Yeah. So them people who work in the it's called the FE, the Expeditionary Force Institution, something along them lines.
Okay.
It's in the spreadsheet. Yeah, they are. I think they was TA or reserves, whatever it is, but they're veterans selling Snickers and pot noodles.
Yeah, they deserve a medal for selling me cigarettes at that price. Single-handedly.
Stuttering Smithy, he also mentioned that.
Is he our only listener, is he?
Well, you brought me in, so that's it. There's one left.
He said he works for a company called Abri, ABRI.
Yeah.
It's a housing association. And he said they're very pro-veterans. He said they cover the south coast up to sort of London. He said, like I say, they're very pro-veterans. And once you're in, there's all sorts, maintenance roles, all that sort of stuff. He's a housing officer, I think. But he started off as a painter and decorator. He said you can move around. They'll pay for your training once you're in. So he said to give them a shout if anyone's looking for work.
That's the furthest the next tank he's ever made it, painter and decorator, by the way.
Well, do you remember Steve's story about his what is foray? Foray? What am I saying?
I know what you're trying to say. I don't want to dare try and fuck it and say it though.
He tried the demolition, didn't he? And he knocked down the
wrong
wrong
wall.
and run away.
Like Del Boy in a chandelier, is that, isn't it?
Yeah.
One-time thing.
I've got a little story. It's got nothing to do with anything we spoke about. But,
Let's have it.
Okay.
I was talking to a bloke called Nige, and he
Why's it called Nige?
because his name's Nigel. And he was telling me he's an older gentleman than me, not too old. But anyway, in the 70s, his job for a short period of time was to drive a target tank, which was a Centurion tank with a little bit of extra armour, and the infantry used to fire anti-tank missiles at it.
What, like without the explosive in, or what?
I'd like to think so, but still, what the fuck? Like, it's in the 70s. Yeah, 1972, 1975, they had the Centurion target tanks. Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Like, that was a thing.
That's some job.
Yeah.
That's you fucked up big time. You're on that duty for
you're
a
on the
week.
target tank.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to you guys speaking about the MREs and the rats last week. That was quite interesting. I remember another thing on the MRE. They had a milkshake in there. Do you remember that? One of the MREs had a milk, like a strawberry milkshake. And you just mix that with water. Fucking unbelievable. Yeah. Funny enough, and I didn't even ask him.
What did you need rations for?
In case you got back and the canteen was closed.
Oh.
My mate sent me this yesterday. Mate of mine, Horncastle. An alley photo of me on a 50 cal there for the listeners that can't see. But he also sent me this. And I didn't ask him for this. He just sent it out of the blue on Sunday. And it was a chocolate brownie from ration pack number 7.
Oh, yeah.
The only ration pack that I fucking enjoyed. I don't know if you had the chocolate brownie, but it's fucking stunning.
Yeah, I think I do. That was a good one, wasn't it? Yeah.
I was clearly attached to this chocolate brownie because I'd written my the name and address on there in case somebody fucking took it or I lost it so they could send it back to me. I had my service number on there for Flight Squadron. Yeah, I used to love getting the American rats. And we did the same thing as you with the MRE bombs.
Yeah,
used to make them all the time. Someone on top cover just like leave one by his feet and he'd fucking shit his pants.
I've got a question my mate Brett asked. How did we feel when we went back from being on leave? He said to me, it was when for instance, you had your R&R halfway through.
Yeah.
It was horrible for him knowing that I'm going back into conflict. And how did we feel? Like, I know.
So is he talking specifically about R&R from
just anything? What was it like? Because you have summer leave, for instance. You have a couple of weeks off and you're partying all the time, and you go. It was horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like going back to school, wasn't it? That
but
sort
then
of
I know
feeling.
it's like I'd always go back, say Sunday, probably about 5 or 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then normally end up in a naffy. After that, you don't give a shit, you're pissed.
Yeah.
But it was always a horrible one when it, like you say, going back to school, after school holidays and stuff, same sort of feeling.
So on R&R from Afghanistan, so everyone thought, we'll get infidel in Arabic written on us. So, because obviously the Taliban referred to us as infidels, like the non-believer. I went back on R&R, I think possibly I was one of the first people that said they were going to do this. So I got this tattoo done at the top of my back. Tattoos take some time to heal, whereas for me, like 7 days later, I'm back in Afghanistan with the weight on my back, the heat, and all this. So it is pretty fucked at the moment. I think maybe several weeks later, dickhead here gets blown up. All the other blokes that said they were going to get this tattoo done were like, "Nah, that's an omen. I ain't fucking getting that done." But it makes for interesting holidays. So I've been to Egypt and had it questioned. I think it was the south of Spain. Those people that stand outside restaurants or clubs and that trying to get you in. And I've walked past with my shirt off and he's shouting to his mate, the bloody kefir, the kefir. Because that was it, the infidel or kefir. But yeah, it was, I need to get it covered up. Really, you've just bought a tattoo gun, haven't you, Steve?
Yeah, we'll get it done.
Yeah.
I could do a great cock. Big veiny one.
Take a great cock.
Hey.
But interestingly, infidel in Arabic writing looks like JLS. Yeah, so the kids are like, Dad, why have you got JLS tattooed on your back? It's like, yeah, whatever.
That's definitely more embarrassing than your south of Spain, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
pulled out by a restaurant fella.
A restaurant fella. Right then, if you want to get in touch, whether it's to ask a question, share a story, or just let us know we're talking complete bollocks, here's how.
Yeah, just search The Muster Point on Facebook, TikTok, X or YouTube. We're the ones not conducting an airfield patrol exercise. Honestly, if you're looking for tips on how to guard an enemy car park, Chizzard's your man.
Yeah, very funny. You can also find us on WhatsApp. The number's in our socials and show notes. You can drop us a message, send us a voice note, or if you're in the army, try drawing us a picture, since literally might be an issue. Steve Black's got plenty of crayons he's picked up, so we'll send them out your way.
If email's more your thing, you can reach me or Steve at stu@themusterpoint.org.uk or steve@themusterpoint.org.uk. Chizzard, however, hasn't quite grasped the 21st century communication yet and does not have an email.
Look, I just don't see the point. You two barely reply as it is. And let's be honest, the most important messages in my career were written on a whiteboard in the guard room.
True, but it's also because the RefReg IT policy still involves passing notes under the door.
So there you go. Facebook, TikTok, X, YouTube, WhatsApp and email for those of us not still using carrier pigeons. Get in touch, send us your best and worst kit stories, or just let us know how wrong Steve is about literally everything.
And while you're at it, do us a favour, share this episode. You never know, it might make its way to a military procurement meeting and we can finally get some half-decent kit issued.
So now we come on to frontline focus. So good kit, bad kit. Let's start off with the Hall of Fame or the Hall of Shame. So good kit, best kit, worst kit. You got anything for us guys?
A lot of vehicle crews, especially the tank crews. We had the BV, but we had a diesel cooker called the Green Goddess.
Okay. Wasn't that a fire engine?
Yeah, it's what I was
I think we named it after that. It was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You filled it with diesel. You pressurised it. You could either use like a gel or just a bit of flannelette, light it, sort of prime it, and then it was just crap. It was disgusting. It stunk of burnt diesel. It was filthy. But we tended to use that on more like maintenance days when you ain't got the engine running.
So, and it used to just have a boiling like a BV, did it?
No,
Or-
it just looked like a camping cooker. Like a
Right,
gas
okay,
cooker.
so, right, you
But
cooked on top of it.
Yeah,
Right, gotcha.
it was diesel fueled. It was a piece of junk though.
Yeah.
It was just filthy and dirty and horrible. That was a really crappy thing.
Do you remember, what was it, Norwegians?
Yeah.
Which, like, your range stew come in.
Yeah, and tea, coffee.
Yeah, well,
Or
cough tea.
cough tea,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing, like, one day you'd have range stew
Yeah.
in it, and then, or even if you cleaned it out, it would still fucking stain and that. And then someone would put tea in it, and it's like, oh my
It all
God.
tasted the same, didn't it?
Yeah.
Tea, coffee, and your range stew all tasted the same.
Yeah, just get it in your lads. Like, but the thing
As long
is,
as
when
it's warm and wet.
yeah, that's it, isn't it? Like when you're cold on exercise or on the range, it's like, oh, this is the best thing ever.
I've had a few people contact us. Skid, he said his best thing was...
Is that Mark?
That is. Silver Shadows were the best things. He said those are very comfy, practical and stylish when new.
Really?
Stylish red new.
Did you ever have, so if you were lucky, you got the fucking high-tech Silver Shadows, but if you were unlucky, you got like unbranded Silver Shadows.
Oh, I never saw them. Yeah, I never saw them. It was all high tech.
Fucking hell. No, innit?
Well, I remember when I turned up to basic, like the majority of my kit, I'd say at least 80% was second-hand. Like all my Combat 95 trousers and shirts had some other fucker's name in.
I think mine was new. I think it was, to be fair, I mean, I don't know if you had to do it on basic training. We had to label every piece of our kit 3 times.
Okay.
Fucking surname and your last 3 or 4, whatever it was. But you had to stencil it. Did you ever have to do that?
I don't remember that.
Like,
So I remember writing it in my shirt and you could see it on the outside.
Yeah, that was it. Well, that was it. I had someone else's name in all my kit.
exactly.
Like,
yeah, I don't
even
remember
like the
seeing that.
socks and the pants they issued. It was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, that was a fucking arduous task. That was stenciling.
Yeah.
Name on like one gate, you do one gator, for example.
Oh, the
Gators,
Gators,
Gators, yeah.
A couple of people have said to me that they were the worst things.
Yeah.
Like Mo and my mate AD.
Waste of time.
I've said like,
Did you
What was the
who ever
point?
fucking wore them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'd have to take them though on field
Yeah,
exercise
yeah.
basics. It's like, where's your fucking gators? You never fucking wore them, but
Go on, what are they saying about gators?
I just what was the point of it?
Yeah.
Most useless thing.
Even fucking Gary Gore-Tex. So if I don't get me wrong, if I was on stag on exercise, maybe I'd whack it on. But there used to be fucking blokes that would be on like we'd be fucking tabbing or whatever, like on exercise, and they'd have their Gore-Tex on, and I'm like, what the? You're gonna go man down, you fucker.
Yeah. And Gore-Tex trousers.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. No, some people have full Gary Gore-Tex on.
Commonwealth soldiers. At one point, my mate Dave was my gunner. He was from Jamaica, and it'd be like 40 degree or 30 degree heat in Germany, and he's still got his fleece, his Gore-Tex on.
Yeah.
It was always cold.
But yeah, I'd prefer to be light and like mobile because you soon dried off, didn't you?
As long as you were moving, it's when you were harbouring up or whatever. I
That's
thought
it, when you're on stag, that's the only time.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever wore my trousers though.
No, I didn't.
Couple of crappy things. I remember. It was, did you ever see a Saxon, the vehicle?
Yeah, rings a bell.
Is that like one of them?
No, that's a Viking. No, the Saxon was like I think it was a 4-tonner. Bentley 4-tonner, but it was like an armoured version.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
It looked like something out of RoboCop.
Okay.
In fact, I think Judge Dredd, a RoboCop film, had one in it.
What was the top speed of that? Because the bloody Bedford normal was
well,
like...
we'd done an exercise. We come back from the UK on tanks, and we borrowed tanks off the King's Royal Hussars. Done a big exercise on Salisbury Plain with the King's Regiment. They was the Saxons. And we just spent all the time waiting for them. We'd advance a couple of miles and wait half hour.
Yeah.
And it was just, what was the point of it? But it was ancient. I think they give them all to Ukraine. And some general actually said it's disgraceful that we've give someone to go to war in these things. And in like the Snatch Land Rovers, they're another one that like the amount of blokes who've died in them things, and they weren't fit for purpose.
That's awful.
And then you got air conditioning on Challenger 2, Warrior and Vikings.
Well,
didn't work.
any British, any British vehicle, I think they went for.
What was the point? Like it just didn't ever work.
I think we had 12 vehicles for the Resident Field Squadron in Afghan and Bastion, and I think maybe one.
Yeah.
Like them had a general aircon, and that was like a fucking gerbil coughing on you. You know what I mean? Waste of time that one. But the Yanks, they used to make any vehicles that didn't have aircon, US, and just take them off the road. But we just didn't have that luxury. But I remember going, like, when you drive through Bastion, and, like, some of the fucking compounds, and it was probably more than one, but just fucking stacks and stacks of Humvees. What else do they have? MRAPs and all that stuff. Just loads of them.
Yeah.
And, like, you just thought, oh, they probably have fucking an indicator go out and swap it for a new one. Like, our vehicles are fucking, like, triggers broom. Fucking awful.
I'll tell you another thing. The respirator, the S10 respirator. Did you use that? Jeez.
S7 and a GSI I used.
Oh, the S10 was when I was in.
Yeah.
But when you were in training, you got issued your helmet and you had to sew a bit of elastic for a chin strap. Did you have to do that?
No.
Oh, we had to sew because when you've got your respirator on and your helmet, you couldn't do the chin strap up. So we had a bit of elastic that you used as a chin strap.
Oh, actually, no. Yeah, we did have that. Actually, yeah, you put it on.
What a load of crap! And they were crap. I remember like being on exercise, we respirator on, and my eyepiece fell out. This thing's meant to save you. Yeah, so that's it. The drinking straw would fall out. It was just
That was grim, wasn't it?
I think I'd rather die than live.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah. The CBRN. No, thank you very much.
Remember Fuller's Earth?
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, that's the thing you had to fucking dab yourself with.
It was like mud, wasn't it?
Dab or whatever it was.
Basically mud, didn't it? I think.
Yeah.
It was like a powder, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like a powder.
Yeah.
I think it is mud.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, I remember it took me, you doing your fucking chemi drills in the chamber and take you, right, you know, you get your mini cheddars out your pocket. And you had to like eat a mini cheddar, but I did that. It took about 20 minutes to eat one mini cheddar. I thought, nah, I ain't living with that. If it turns up, I'm not even bothered putting the mask on.
My mate Paul, he reckons the SLR was much better than the SA80.
Yeah, there's this thing, isn't there?
He's one of them.
Obviously, the old sweats with the SLR. But I spoke to you about it the other day. So when Steve and I was in basic training, we had the SA80 Mark 1.
Yeah, the A1.
The rumour I heard was the MOD spent the same amount they'd spent developing the SA80 A1 as to changing the barrel, the working parts, wasn't it?
There was a few, the cocking handle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was the most obvious thing. I think.
Yeah.
It was the gas parts and the working parts.
Yeah. But they basically spent the same amount developing the entire gun on this small part of it. And they went to Heckler and Koch to get it done.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What was the difference between the A1 and the A2 or whatever it was?
One's got a 1, one's got a 2.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot better. To be fair, people slagged it off. I thought the SA was a brilliant rifle. Not A2.
Yeah.
It was heavy in that.
The A1 was always...
It just stopped all the time. That's all I remember. But I thought it was really good. I remember being with the Americans and they'd give us the M4 and it was like a toy. And yet, great, it might be really good. But I like the SA80.
Yeah.
I say it weighed a bit, but I thought it was really accurate. I
Yeah.
remember being with the Americans, and they had this
Was it
site.
accurate? It's the same geezer who fucking
Yeah.
four of them put the mag into one geezer and fucking
I
missed
wasn't
the point
trying to
blank.
hit him. It was a warning shot. Yeah, we were doing Americans, and they're showing us all their sites. And this is how you zoom in. They're twisting it, zooming in. How do you zoom in with yours? And we had a SUSAT, and I was, put it up to my face, and I started walking forward. I'm going, this is how you zoom in. If you want to zoom out, you go backwards.
You mentioned earlier on about boots.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? The
Blackish. The
Boots
basics.
Combat High.
Yeah,
Boots Combat High. You didn't get on with them, no?
Nah. Did you? No.
See,
my
once
boots
they were broken in, I
Oh, I liked it.
thought they were
Really?
all right.
Oh
yeah.
no, that was hell for me. I don't know. I've got fucking
Did you?
backwards feet or something.
Because we got taught to break in a new set of boots. You
wear them
took
in the shower.
you took them in the shower and pissed on them. Oh, that's not just me then.
No,
right, good.
you're all over. and once you got the blisters from them, which we pretty much fucking. I mean, I wasn't even one of the worst, but yeah, you had a piss on your blisters and your cuts and out on your feet. I can't remember what's in your piss. I can't remember that. It sanitizes it basically, so you don't get infection.
I just think that's a load of bollocks. Someone's
Just another excuse, isn't it? For
some like section commanders gone here.
Yeah.
Watch this, boys.
But it ain't. But we were just pissing on each other in the showers anyway. So like that was part and parcel. Showering together, you'd fucking piss on your mate.
all right, cheers.
My mate Tony Atcho, he said that he really liked the Charlie 2 RWS, which is what you were saying earlier. Said it was like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
A good bit of kit.
Yeah, because the RWS for me, so it had like thermal imaging, it had a range finder, like you could ping it, ping whatever you were aiming at, like round counter. Yeah, it was as I said, it was a fucking awesome bit of kit. Like once I got it working, and it weren't stopping all the time.
Yeah, it's funny that bit of kit's designed so you don't have to get out of cab.
Yeah.
And then when you had those stoppages, you were hitting all 6 S's or whatever it was by climbing up there.
Yeah, because saying that, and maybe someone can correct me on this, but because I know, like, literally you had the screen there and then you had a bank of switches here. So you could, like, cock it and all this sort of thing from here.
Yeah.
And possibly, like, you could carry out some sort of stoppage drill from the cab, but...
Only if it expended a bit of link or round or
With a
whatever.
Gympie, cocking it normally fixed it, didn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
It stops. My first exercise was the dismounted one when I got to my regiment, and I got given a Gympie, and I'd never been trained on a Gympie, never seen one before. And I said, like, I don't know what I'm doing. They went, if it stops, just cock it and it'll carry on. And it did. Every time it stopped, I cocked it and it carried on.
Yeah.
That's mad you didn't do a WH2 on it and they just gave you one.
Yeah. But I didn't have a sling either, and we was walking miles. I mean,
Yeah,
this fucking
nothing
Gympie
worse.
carrying it without a sling, it was horrible.
Yeah, you generally could tell who the sprog or the patrol was, generally.
Yeah.
But I remember once, I think it was PDT on my last tour, and I don't know who I'd fucking upset, but they gave me the Gympie and like tail section Charlie. And I didn't let off a round, and people going, right, get over the river. And like, I was, by this point, we'd already fucking gone. It felt like a mile, and I had all the rounds on my back as well. So I was hanging out, fuming that I weren't even going to fucking use any.
Yeah.
And then they were going, right, cross the river again, the same river, obviously. And by this point, I nearly went over, and I just used the GBMG, like the fucking the pole vault. Yeah. And I just dug the barrel into the bank of this fucking river. Even if I wanted to fight, by this point, there was no chance. Like, it was cake with mud.
My mate AD said he really liked the issued DOS bags when we was on tanks, because you didn't have to carry it.
Yeah.
When you was dismounted, it was a big lump and heavy, but they were warm. Starting in Smithy, he really liked the sharp shooter rifle. He said it turned.
Oh, I hated that.
He said it turned a retard like him into Vasily Zaitsev.
I was shit with a sharpshooter.
Yeah,
I was awful
before
on that.
my time.
Before your time?
Oh yeah,
What, a sharpshooter?
yeah,
You mean after your time?
yeah. That's right. Cheeks like the camelback.
I like the camelback.
I didn't.
What an invention that was. What an invention.
Camelback, yeah.
Oh, mate.
Well, it used to, Army, Navy, the rugby, used to just get blokes with their camelbacks on filled with like
Wine.
vodka Red Bull.
Yeah.
I remember going to O group with some people who had camelbacks full of love.
yeah, for tabs, I remember that.
My mate Bob Swiniarski, he said he really liked the Stalwart. This was in the 70s. My dad used to go about them. They're like a 6-wheeled. I think there was, is it a Saracen as well? There was a few vehicles that had 6 wheels and it was all the same sort of chassis.
Right.
But the Stalwart was the, I think it was the ammunition carrier, and it could swim. I think my dad said because there was petrol, they used to catch fire quite a lot, which is not ideal when you're an ammunition carrying vehicle. But Bob said they was like great fun to drive, and they was nice and warm, and flames would shoot out the exhaust.
Too fast, too
My
furious.
nephew Tommy, he said he really likes the Corinthia jacket. I said to him,
That rings a bell.
I said to him, what is it? Is it like a softie? And he said, yes, it's like a
Fuck.
A Gucci or softy.
Did you ever get issued the full softy suit?
Yeah.
Like,
Look like a scouser.
yeah. Like the Michelin man.
Yeah. My mate, Captain Lassman, he liked the Chinese fighting suit.
Go on.
In the 90s, he got issued that. Before, I had the green fleece. Did you have that?
Yeah.
Yeah, before that, you had the Chinese fighting suit.
All right.
I know, I remember being on exercise with someone.
What was its purpose?
Just
just
warm
warm
kit.
kit?
But he said it was warm and lightweight.
Norgy, that's what I used to have. Do you remember that?
I
Norgy?
remember that. Do you remember the so talking about issued kits? So and I said like mine was second hand. The old long johns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, second-hand long john.
Wool, like fucking Scotch Brite.
I never wore them.
No.
Like, it's just too hot.
But my mate Skid actually, he said he hated the issued green t-shirts.
Oh, mate.
They
the same thing.
stretch.
I had to zinc oxide tape my nipples up for those fucking green t-shirts. Fucking horrible.
Nice.
Every
Pervert.
tab, every round.
And what about the itchy and scratchy jumpers, like the drill jumpers?
What with the elbow pads?
Yeah.
They were, in the tank regiment, we had to have black ones, but we had to buy our own.
Did you?
issue them. Yeah, you had to buy them.
Yeah. Funny you say that. So I see on Facebook, the Royal Engineers Facebook page was like some sprogs have just passed out of their phase 2 training and they were getting issued their Royal Engineer stable belts, and apparently they were supplied and paid for by the Royal Engineers Association. But I remember I had to buy my own stable belt from passing off.
Yeah, I didn't have one. I wasn't that queer.
Uh,
I just wanted
even though you put zinc oxide tape on your nipples and piss on your mates in the shower. Nothing gay about that.
My mate Steve, the one-legged Chelsea wanker,
Okay.
he didn't like Challenger 2s because he lost his leg in one.
Well, could never find it. No?
Nah, lost it. Still looking for it. Stuttering Smithy didn't like Hyde. I don't know if you use that.
Hide.
Yeah, HIIDE. Basically, he took pictures of your eyes and your fingerprints.
Oh, it's a DNA bit.
Yeah, he said basically, he said they'd scanned someone, they knew they was enemy, whatever. A couple of weeks later, they check on that same person and it wouldn't pick them up, even though they took their fingerprints and eyes. He said,
Bloody
"It's a load
hell.
of crap."
I remember having to swab geezers' mouths. I did. I like fucking put all your
Yeah.
full Romeo on, and I was like,
Reference.
oh yeah, mate. Well, yeah. What was it? Vehicle checkpoints and that. Oh, we got to fucking get them on the system. And I was having to swab these horrible cunts like, inside their mouth, get dead close.
Well, they had like 3 teeth, the colour of like oak, taupe, and
Yeah.
burgundy or something.
Yeah.
Me and my mate Skid was on the front gate of at the P Jock. It's a right naughty little place. So it's like the
HQ, isn't it?
Yeah, the
Something like
police HQ. But me and Skid were on the front gate, and I was one of you covers, the other one gets a metal detector and checks a bloke. So this bloke come in, and Skid's got a bit. I think Skid had his pistol in his pocket in his leg.
Yeah.
Skid's sketting in this bloke. It's
It's
going,
picking
beep. The bloke's going, "I've got nothing, mister." Like, take your trousers off. The bloke stood there in his pants, telling us he's got nothing. And Skid's going, "No, it's definitely something."
Yeah. Yeah, well, I remember having to stop and search like Afghani women with the full burqa on because you just couldn't take the risk, and it's like, yeah, this is awkward.
Have to use a hoodlum, didn't you?
I remember we
you
got
didn't?
her to lift up.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
on
well,
one occasion.
I suppose what you thought the threat was at the time.
Yeah, it's funny you say about the handgun. So as a Royal Engineers Lance Jack Section 2 IC in Afghan, I got issued a pistol as well, like with the old leg pouch or whatever, leg holster.
Mm.
And I think it was only like drivers or like vehicle crew or sort of full screws or whatever got issued them. And I remember the first patrol I went out on, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking get all my kit Gucci as fuck. And it just got in the way. I remember it because it was attached by you could attach it to your body and it was like falling out everywhere and it was fucking horrendous. So needless to say, that got buried in my Bergen and never used again. And because I thought to myself, like, you know what I mean? It's a close quarter combat weapon, and it's like, if they're that close, then I'm just going to bayonet them anyway. So
I'm not having it. You took your bayonet out, and that wasn't buried at the bottom of your Bergen as well.
no, I had so for me, my bayonet was right there. So if I ever had to prod for IEDs, I'd be prodding with my bayonet. Like proper Gucci shit.
I was on this operation, something about a big black cat. And and his claws,
Pussycat's paws.
and everyone got issued pistols. We got given this shotgun off the Americans. I mean, there's a shotgun. We thought, how do we use it? Just go and play with it in the field. So we got given a load of ammo, and then we had these like slug rounds. That shoots like 150 meters, and it was to shoot hinges off the doors. But we were just shooting anything with it, really. just got given grenades and shotguns and all sorts of stuff.
there were those blokes that just didn't have issued kit. They'd be like going down to fucking Blacks and buying them out of like fucking all the Gucci kit. They'd have their own webbing. They'd have all their own patches. And it was like, mate,
Get a life.
like, fucking hell. Because for me, don't get me wrong, like particularly in Afghanistan, you want like some, I don't know, like Iron Man suit that repels bullets and explosions and that. But in reality, that's never going to happen. But for me, my experience was the kit I had was...
Did a job, didn't it?
Yeah, it was sufficient. And I was gutted because we got the desert lowers. Was it lowers or Altbergs? And obviously being out in Afghan on patrol all the time, these things were like slippers. And then when I got injured and I got put in Camp Bastion, I remember them taking my boots off and I was like, I want them. Oi, I bloody want them. But it was just that, yeah, as I said, it was just, everything I got issued was...
The only thing I bought was my Altbergs.
Yeah.
I remember once you graduated, you still kept your black boots, but you were allowed to wear your own if you bought your own. So, yeah, that was I think my parents got me. So this is what I want. And, yeah, like you say...
The best boots I ever had were the Magnums, high-tech Magnums. And they was only cheap, but they was like trainers.
Yeah.
I got issued
wear them, I think.
Yeah, I got issued them in Iraq, I think.
Yeah.
A pair of them. They were really comfy.
So when I come back, when I got flown out of the green zone injured and that, as you can imagine, so my face is fucked, I'm blind, but I've also been the infantry lad that was patching me up on the ground. He'd put bandages around my face and then my helmet sort of perched on top. But my PRR headset was underneath all this and the PRR like radio was attached to the front of my Osprey. So landed in Bastion, the RAF Fire Brigade come and help with the casualties and take you to the hospital bit in Camp Bastion. And I remember I was in a wheelchair and they stood me up and they were like, right, we need to get his body armour off. So I'm like, right, hold on, calm yourself down. So I pulled the Velcro tabs and the body armour plates fall off front and back. But where this PRR is attached to my head's fallen forward with it. And I just remember this American accent going, shit, man, we need to get some scissors and cut this cable, cut the radio off. And I'm like, I remember clear as day, I remember going, calm yourself down, mate. I'm a British soldier. I've signed for this radio. And I just unclipped it from the top and it fell away. But it was just that thing of like, oh, no, I've just been blown up at war, but I need to fucking save my kit.
Storm was going to have your guts for garters if you don't take that back.
Yeah, he would have done as well. But did either of you buy any? I know you mentioned the Altbergs and that.
I think.
What about you, Steve? Well, you didn't have any money, did you? Because you just spent it all on the piss.
Yeah, no, to be fair, one of the best bits of kit I got was a Bowman rucksack.
Yeah.
And I didn't really use it. And then when I was on RR, my team got blown up and the radio got written off.
Yeah.
And I still had the rucksack. So I took it to the tailors in Camp Bastion and they modified it.
Yeah.
I've still got it now. It's just a big day sack. But you could put the bergen side patch on it. So it's probably like a 50-litre rucksack. But it was just ideal for out there.
Yeah.
And and also my bergen had been blown up. So I didn't have a bergen. So it was very useful. my bergen got hit by an RPG.
Yeah.
And it got completely blown to pieces. And all that was left was my iPad. That's on my iPod, sorry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it attached to the outside of the wagon?
Yeah,
Like on the Caribbean or whatever?
So it saved the wagon.
Yeah, that's been your cans of baked beans in there that must have saved the wagon.
I was quite lucky, but I know a lot of the infantry lost their bergens because the vehicle drove too close to a building or something, ripped all their bergens.
Yeah.
No one knew nothing about it.
But it's we went on a vehicle patrol with the Yanks and they had all that special IED detection kit, or if in doubt, one of their vehicles would roll over the fucker and it was designed to take the blast. And I remember it took us about 28 hours or something to cover like 4 kilometres. It was IED after IED. And like one of the American vehicles, as I said, like the vehicle was in the main designed to take the blast. And this vehicle, I think the third time it had been taken a blast. And basically, like, you could hear this commotion going on, some nosy Brits, like, what's going on? And basically, the Yank operator, driver, whatever, was like going mad because the blast had blown the bar armour and some of the vehicle off, and he'd been keeping boxes of his Gatorade between the bar armour and the vehicle, and it had blown it off into this field, and he's going, they blew my Gatorade off, man. I need my Gatorade. And it was like, mate, like,
They love their Gatorade, don't they?
fucking did they?
We done a resupply once, and we was in Snatches. Went to Q8, Camp Navistar, I think it was called, massive camp.
Yeah.
And the plan was we'd fill all the vehicles up with water rations. There, one of them we'll just fill up with Gatorade. So I think the boss had gone and chatted the Americans out. We've all gone in there, filled it up. The top cover was sat on Gatorade. So if that rolled, if they got contact, they couldn't get down because they were sat on Gatorade.
Yeah.
And it was actually in a briefing, like an Iraq-wide briefing about the Brits nicking Gatorade.
What about Rip It? Do you ever have any of them cans of Rip It?
No,
It
what's
was like
that?
some condensed Red Bull. It was like Red Bull on speed, so it was times 50 or something.
Bloody
Of Red
hell.
Bull, and the can was literally only about 2 inches high.
Like a
but-
shot.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, like on those fucking orange shots, or whatever it is they do now. Ginger, that's it. You see, I made the link there between orange and ginger.
Fox piss.
Smells like a wet dog.
Yeah, we had a few of them, mate. They keep you up for about 3 days. A couple of them.
My mate Mark Worcester said the most pointless thing he was issued was his certificate of service.
Bloody hell.
But however, I've used that. I think I joined the Union Jack Club to be a member. You got to prove, and I sent him a
Alright.
picture of that. And
Yeah.
but yeah, it is pretty pointless, isn't it? But, we talked about issued kit. My nephew Tommy, like, he's in now, and he said there is in a signal. So their issued webbing is 2 magazine pouches and a water bottle pouch. So
Okay.
nothing, but yeah, you have to
No entrenching tool thing, nothing
No.
like that. No. Mm.
So they have to buy the odd pouch.
They have to buy it.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
You can't go and do dismantling lists. Why did you get that many ammunition pouches? Why do you have ammo pouches on your? I was a tanky, so I didn't really do that. But obviously, why do you have ammo pouches on your right?
You normally have your fucking, what do you call it? The bag, the magazine. What's that called? Like the fucking magazine catcher, basically. You'd fucking use a magazine and chuck it. Dump pouch, that was it. We'd have one of them on, I think, on the right, and
Stuck
then
it down my top.
did you? Yeah.
The Brecon pouch, I think it was.
That
called.
was it. Different pouch, indeed.
Susie, he said the most annoying thing and the worst thing was the camnets because they get caught on everything. They rip
Yeah,
your
they
buttons
were a
off.
fucking pain in the ass.
And then he said the leather gloves you get issued, they're nice, but you can't do nothing with them. They're like boxing gloves.
Yeah.
And then
But you wouldn't. Again, you wouldn't use it. What would you use it for?
boxing.
Yeah, boxing. Yeah.
What about I think they're called contact gloves.
Yeah,
Is it-
gloves, contact.
with the little bubbles on.
Yeah.
As soon as they get wet,
Yeah,
they just
but-
stretch and
And then they like freeze your hands.
yeah. So he
don't
said,
they?
he said that. He said they make your hands colder.
Yeah. And did you ever get the Oakleys in the later years?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they were issue in the later years of obviously after your time. Yeah, we used to get Oakleys, like the ones the same ones you've got on Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare. We used to get the same ones. They were all right, to be fair.
Navy P, he done his phase 1 training in 1995, and they got issued 58 pattern webbing,
Yeah.
which was like,
With the weight or the price?
yeah, he said it was ancient. Cheat said when he went to Iraq on Telic 1, they got issued sunglasses, but he said they knew them as Deirdre Barlow glasses. They were crap.
Yeah.
But he said then, and the Yanks all had Oakleys. He said somehow one of the lads convinced the Yanks that our ones are really good because they're British. They managed to swap.
Talk about going back to what kit Steve's bought.
Yeah.
He hasn't mentioned his Fox hat.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't mentioned that.
Yeah, we'll have
Your
to
Rally Fox hat.
Have to-
We have to get-
explain it to the listeners, and then I'll put a picture of you wearing it on
Yeah,
Facebook.
when we, I think the main camp in Afghanistan, other than Kabul, is Kandahar, and it is huge. And it's a big air base. Do you know if the Americans run that? Is it? I think it is American.
sure.
Run it. But anyway, you got this area. I think they call it the Boardwalk.
Yeah.
It's where all the NAFI equivalents, the PX, all that. It's all in there's a big square, or rectangle, and they're all around it, and it's like a little shopping place. And there's a couple of little choky
Timmy
shops there.
Hortons and that.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Barbers, massage parlours. But anyway, like before you go on your R&R, you get a few hours or an evening to go and spend some time shopping. And I found a choky shop, and they sold these hats made out of a dead fox. So I bought
You got one?
I got one. Yeah, a few of us did.
We'll get a picture of you wearing it for Facebook if anyone out there's interested.
God knows what fucking disease that hat contains.
yeah.
Some fucking.
It's got
desert
nice
fox.
diamante eyeballs.
Quality. And do you remember? I don't know if you've had it when you was at Fob Shawcat. The RAF had flew drones out of there, so not like as in not your big Reaper
Yeah.
drones, but sort of
The H3s. There's
I don't know. They were little.
DHLs.
Oh, the tiny ones are black hornets.
Oh, was it?
Looks like a little helicopter.
Basically, it went up and just give sort of it would observe sort of thing,
Yeah,
and
black
then
hornets,
then
probably.
feed the information back down to the guys on the ground. But like so, basically, like the RAF guy would come out of his cabin, out of his little hut, and fucking like throw it to get it going.
Oh yeah, Desert Hawk.
Yeah, that was a DX3. Yeah,
and then when it came back in, you'd see someone come running out and he'd be stood there like that.
Yeah.
And every time the thing would just cream into the fucking ground, like smack him in the head. And it was like hours of laughter. Like, this is amazing.
We had one, the Black Hornet. I don't know if you ever used that. That? It's like this tiny little helicopter thing. It was meant to be. I suppose it was almost the start of the drone era.
Yeah.
And I think it came from Scandinavia, but it was about fucking 75 grand worth of kit in this box. It was good because it was man carryable. You know what I mean? But we had a specialist on the squadron who'd done a 2-day course on this thing, so he had to train the rest of the blokes, and he was fucking next to useless. Anyway, I remember him leading the training session. I ain't gonna name his name, but I remember him leading the training session with the boys on Bash, and he said he fucking did like a 2-hour speech before he fucking threw the thing in the air. We're like, just fucking get it in the air, whatever. Harassing him, like heckling him just to throw this thing in the air, and he was like, fucking fine, I'll throw it in the air then. And after 2 hours of waffling, he went, so yeah, all you want to do is get a Black Hornet, put it in the palm of your hand, and just gently lift it up. And he did it, and this gust of wind fucking took this Black Hornet, and we lost it as soon as he threw it in the air. It went over like fucking 3 fucking different compounds.
There's an awkward one. We had the artillery still out there,
exactly.
and they'd come out with us, and it was like an Xbox controller. And they'd get a little briefcase out and set it, and they just literally, like you say, throw it like a paper airplane. It'd go and fly around for a half hour. And then crash land.
Yeah.
And then we was like, oh my God, you broke it. And now we've got a repair kit.
Yeah.
A roll of black nasty and some new propellers.
And off it goes again.
And it had on it like, if found, please return, in Arabic, please return, you get $5 or something.
You mentioned there, Chisholm, well, you said 70 grand and it just triggered something in me. So do you remember, the old javelin?
Yeah.
So we had one occasion that the infantry fired it and it never detonated. So we went out, me and Budgie, and demmed it up to basically deny it. And I think Budgie recorded it. God knows what's happened to that. But basically demmed it up with excessive explosives. And because I remember the javelin apparently cost 70 grand. So it was like £70,000 worth of explosion. Me and fucking Budgie, like, boom. And fucking walked out. And the crater it left was incredible. It was like, wow.
Those javelins, when I never got trained on them, but the lads that used to do them on our squadron, I remember only that you could have a course of 12 people, but they were that dear. Only the top student got to fire at the end of the week. I don't know if you had the same. Lack of skill.
We used them when I was at the P-Jock in Iraq. We had them, but we used to just use the sight. I think it was called a clue, because it was such a good sight. It had all the thermal imagery, and we used that on stag, and it was really good. But when I was in Iraq on a certain operation, the Welsh Guard, someone reported the Taliban bloke digging a bomb in. So they fired a javelin at him.
Yeah.
One guy.
Next morning,
Excessive.
someone sent a patrol out to go and check it was a dog.
Oh, fucking hell.
Poor dog, he's having a shit.
Oh, Jesus.
Hit by a javelin.
Quality.
So
I remember
that'll learn him.
That will learn him. We obviously explosives was a main thing with the Royal Engineers, and we the main thing we used it for was clearing trees. So say the infantry had identified a compound, right? We're going to set this up as a checkpoint or whatever, but that tree over there is covering or obscuring our fields of what is it?
Arcs.
Our arcs.
Get your range card out.
So we'd come along and basically you could, like the det cord, you just fucking wrap the shitload of det cord around the base of the tree. Just kept going, and then you'd run the det cord up. And there'd be a kicking charge, like a little bit of explosives. And the det cord would rip the tree trunk to pieces, and the kicking charge would just push the tree like that. And it'd be like, this is brilliant. And all the infantry would be like, oh, let's have a go. Let's press the button. But there was what was it? The detonator. So you had your det cord would go into your detonator, which would then go into your plastic explosives. And then, obviously, that would explode.
You'd have to retrieve it, wouldn't you?
What's
You'd
that?
have to retrieve that detonator or something like that.
No, not that.
No?
Fucking gone. It's
Detonated,
yeah. But it's like a cigarette. And I remember in training, like they drilled it into you. you'd have to hold it like a cigarette because if you applied any pressure to it, it'd fucking take your hand off. So as a sprog, you're like, fuck yeah, because you had to push the deck cord into the back of it. And then, I don't know if I've shared it, but so I carried a shitload of explosives, all ready to go, sort of, if the infantry wanted to take a compound. And running around with it, but being shot at. And it turns out that it doesn't work like that. Like, don't get me wrong, if you started hitting it with a hammer, then it may go off, but sort of just handling it with your hands isn't too much of a problem.
The reason I said about the detonator then, I don't know if I mentioned it the first time I was here, we did a DEMS job. I told you about this?
No? Go on.
I can't remember, some Pongo unit, and we went out with them middle of fucking nowhere in the desert. And it was all old, expired ammunition that we just had to fucking blow up.
Yeah.
But we were the security, obviously. They wanted the finest, so one of the tip of the spear, so they got a RAF Regin. And you drive out into the Banter about fucking 10 miles, literally no civilians, no civ pop whatsoever. And when you drive out, because you're coming out with what they armoured SVs or whatever they were, with the ISO containers, literally rolled ammunition. And then Jingly started following us because they know what you're doing, and it was a DEMS job. Anyway, so we're trying. We was only about fucking 4 vehicles, but when we went out there, they set up the DEMS job. We had the fucking basically mine roll bomber, this square box for them to put for it was probably engineers, I suppose.
Yeah.
Would have been there, set up the explosion, and then we had to keep a 5 kilometre like radius around it to make sure there was no fucking civ pop casualties or whatever. But there was fucking hundreds of Jinglies all on their fucking Honda, whatever they are, Honda Wins. But we were told, so when the explosion goes off, we've got to bound in there because we've got to find the detonator. Now, this might have been an engineer's fucking having our absolute pants down. And looking back on it, it seems quite obvious. Yeah. But they were like, you've got to find a detonator. So
I reckon they had your pants down, mate.
And I now say it back, they definitely did. But it was fucking good, though. So we were trying to keep these Jinglies back. Like I say, 5 kilometre radius, and we've got 4 vehicles, and there's fucking hundreds of thousands of Jinglies, like 5 of them on one bike, you know how it was. Yeah. And then the fucking explosion's gone off. And then, like, shit, we've got to get the detonator. But it was a class job because we all go bounding in with we had jackals, foxhounds, ridgebacks. And the jackals just tear away. I mean, fucking, but you got Jinglies either side. And you're like, rah, rah, going like the
wacky races.
Literally, like, the shockwave had barely like come past you. And then you're bounding down it. And like all the lads on top cover have got like 10 mini flares, like all lined up, ready to go. So they're firing mini flares at these Jinglies. Or like 3 of them on the bike, they're falling off. Oh, mate, it was a class job. And then when you get to where the explosion was, you fucking craters, like more than one crater, but all the metal was still searing hot, like steaming. And you see all the Jinglies like playing hot potato, trying to get it. They literally don't even wait for it to cool. Yeah. Like there's that many of them. They're like and getting it back on their bikes. What a day! I love it. I only did it once, but it was a class job.
I remember on acclimatisation when you get to Camp Bastion and you do like a little range package just outside the fence, and there's like a little range in the desert. And so you do your range package, and even on a range in the UK, you had to do brass collecting, didn't you, afterwards? So by the time you finish firing, out of nowhere, and bear in mind, like, there's no one there. There's like the sand people, like off Star Wars, are saying, come out of nowhere, and fucking like all the brass has gone. Like even like literally the last round's fired, it's like right, lads, go, and it's gone. It's like, where the fuck did you lot come from?
We had that in Iraq. We was doing a warrior range. Every couple of months you have to just zero the gun and that. And again, you'd be firing loads of brass, and then it'd finish, and all the chogies, you'd jump up on the warrior. Bear in mind, it was so hot, you couldn't even touch the metal with your bare hands. Yeah. You had to wear gloves. And they're barefoot, jumping on there, collecting all the brass, and it was mental. It saved us doing it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them crack on. I bet their skin was fucking just like one big bunion.
Asbestos hands.
Back to shit kit. Your mate, Dog Morris.
Oh, yeah.
He said, the green sausage bags, did you get issued them? Your kit bag. You know, like the really old-fashioned long one.
I know. No, I didn't know. But I know the one you mean.
You can't really, you put stuff in it, but obviously to get to something at the bottom, you've got to take everything out. So that was a bit of a, I don't know why we got issued them.
Yeah, I think maybe I did get issued one and soon got rid of it. Maybe left it in my room in basic training.
I think we used to use it like as a punch bag on tour and things like that, fill it up with crap. And my Guy Fawkes, he's left, actually, he's just left the army after 22 years.
Has he?
He started his new job today. I'll have to give him a call later. But he said...
What's he doing? Working underneath Parliament?
Nah. I think he's working for like a tractor company or something like that, doing maintenance.
Okay.
But good luck to him. But he said the worst thing was the tank crew headsets, and they were horrible. They used to squeeze the back of your head, and then it'd be buzzing. It was horrific. We used to say it was like a wasp on a moped. You just you get a bit of interference, and it was like, plus your head's getting squashed, and you got that for 20 hours or whatever.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
Torture.
What are those hats about? And you still see them hats today in like fucking Ukraine videos and stuff. You know, the tanky hats. I don't know, like just padded. Like, is it built into that? Do you know what I'm on about? It used to be on that film with a fucking tank commander who was a stoner.
Yeah, no, that's the Soviet Union. They had like a leather.
Yeah. Do we have them? Is that not us?
No.
Oh, right.
It's called a crew guard.
Right.
It's a helmet.
Yeah.
To be fair, most people, the driver and the gunner, don't bother wearing them. You take it as soon as you get in, you take it off.
Yeah.
Or is it a crap hat?
No, it's just a crew guard. It weren't uncomfortable, but it just seemed pretty pointless. To be fair, so you don't. The gunner and the driver don't get thrown around that much.
Right.
Like the driver's quite comfy, and the gunner, it's not very comfy. But you're clamped in. You've got a chest pad that clamps you in, so you don't really get thrown around. It's only if the commander's kicking the gunner in the back of the head. That's the only time he gets his head banged.
Right. Anything else, Steve?
Yes. I asked last week if anyone knew what the nightclub in Amesbury was called.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
No one's fucking got in touch.
Well, it took
That was a big
fucking
fucking
5 weeks
Yeah.
for somebody to respond to your training area quiz. So give it some time.
Yeah.
Have you got another?
If anyone's listening, I want to know the name of the nightclub in Amesbury.
So now we're going to go into the section of the show called Muckers Remembered, and today Chizard's got a mucker he wants to remember.
This one isn't direct links to myself. I was reading a book called Chinook Crew Check. It's about an air crew lady called Liz McConaughey, and she'd done loads of tours. Anyway, it was a decent read, but she mentioned in it a lady called Anna Irwin. She joined the Air Force in 2004 as air crew, became a flight sergeant, and completed 8 tours of Afghan. And one particular tour in 2013 in March, she was on MERT, Medical Emergency Response Team, and she had a shout to Fob Folad, which is where the Mercians were at the time. We went down there and there was basically a VBIED, drove right up to the fob and blew up right next to the HQ. And there was over 10 casualties. So we went down there, and it was after the VBIED. It was getting loads of small arms. So it was pretty kinetic. This Anna, she was one of the best loadies we had in my short time that I spent on MERT. She was probably the best, better than all the men. She was giving some returning fire to the lovely Taliban gentleman on her M60 at the back. And like I say, it was fucking all sorts going on. And she did a top job, and she ended up actually winning a Sun Millie Award for that sortie. I don't know if you remember them. So she was brilliant. And unfortunately, in 2016, she was diagnosed with inoperable lung cancer. So in the time after that, she started fundraising and raised a lot of money for the cancer ward at the Royal Marsden, and also for St Michael's Hospice. She unfortunately passed away due to the lung cancer in October 2017. By the time she passed, she raised £70,000 for those charities. After she died, I think the funds kept getting raised in her name to around the 100k mark. So I thought we'd mention a lady for the first time, Lady Vet. May she rest in peace. She, like I say, I worked with her briefly, and she was a brilliant loadie compared to the men.
Thanks for that, Chizard.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Sounds like another Wonder Woman of the forces. Incredible. Yeah, we've got another one, haven't we? Not so much someone that served, but someone that I'd say was very close to the hearts and lives of people that served in Germany.
Yeah, definitely served a lot of soldiers. Wolfgang Meyer, he started selling food to the British troops in the 70s right up until the 90s. He'd come around on exercises all around Saltar and Hona in his bratty van and provide nice food and a nice break for the troops.
Yeah. Because it was a big blue van, wasn't it? Or
it was
I know
legendary.
there was different iterations of it, but
I never, it's before my time, but my dad used to tell me about it. And then, like my old loader, Paul, I've mentioned quite a lot, he said he remembers him in the early 90s. And he always knew where everyone was.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I've
I've
better
heard
intelligence than the Int Corps. He's gone there. So all them squaddies up in heaven have got their bratties up there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in the big blue van.
Yeah.
All right. that is Muckers Remembered. So now we're going to come to the Bravo Zulu shout out, where we talk about an organisation or service doing good things for veterans, or in this case, a veteran that's. I know we mentioned my mate Sam Stonestreet last night, who's going to run the London last week, who's running the London Marathon. So I got contacted by a guy called Ronnie Barker, not the comedian, who's undertaken a challenge. So we're going to try and give him a ring, see if he answers, ask him some questions about what he's doing, and go from there.
Hello.
All right, Ronnie, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. So you got, I'm Stu from the Muster Point, and you sat here with.
Yeah.
Cheers. Nice to meet you, Ronnie.
And Steve, nice to meet you, Ronnie.
Hello, mate.
So how's it
Nice to meet you
going?
all. Oh, good. Very good.
So come on,
Yeah,
I was contacted by a friend of yours, Callum.
Yeah, yeah.
He shared a bit of your amazing challenge that you've set yourself, but tell us a bit more about it. Like, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, basically, obviously, I'm ex-army. I was in the Royal Engineers. Then I went into like the private bodyguarding out in Afghan and Iraq. Gave it all up, and then I started suffering with, really bad depression, and I was diagnosed with complex PTSD.
Yeah.
And then obviously it took its toll on my wife, so we ended up splitting up. So I used to live in Wales. I moved back to England, and then last year everything just went from bad to worse. I got conned out of my entire life savings, and then 120k, and then obviously I'm just sat in a flat thinking I just can't wait, for the world to come to me or for justice to be served. So I just thought one day I need to just get myself out of this rut, find my personal pride again, really,
Yeah.
And,
So take that
find
responsibility
myself.
for your own life, sort of thing, and keep moving forward. So what is it that you're doing?
Basically, I'm going to all 238 lifeboat stations
Yeah.
in the whole of the UK and Channel Islands, and obviously the whole of Ireland.
And I take it you're not taking a car either, are you?
No, I'm on legs, just me legs and me 2 sticks.
Excellent.
I'm carrying all my kit with me as well. So I've got about £40 on my back.
Oof.
The first couple of weeks were hard. Obviously I didn't train for it. I just got up and thought, we don't need to train, just put one leg in front of the other, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm now a month in.
Whereabouts in the UK are you right now?
I am sat on the side of the B3058, heading towards Exmouth from Lyme Regis.
Lovely.
I'm about 7.5 miles out from my stop point for the night. It's supposed to be a campsite at an airfield.
Yeah.
About 7 miles down the road. So hopefully I'll get in there, and that's like splits the journey in half, and then it's another 13 miles into Exmouth tomorrow.
Okay. And how long have you been? When did you start the challenge?
I started on the 6th of February from Ramsgate. I'm going clockwise around the country. I've smashed it a bit.
Yeah. Fair play to you. And when are you looking at completing the challenge?
I am not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I did say 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've thought, but I think it's going to be a lot more now. I think you're more like looking around the 3-year mark.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
if I average about 15 miles a day, I think it's about just under 9,000 miles in total.
Wow, that's
elevated.
with no training. You say that is impressive.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do any training. It was hard to start with. Luckily I didn't get any blisters.
Yeah. Well, he's a ex-Royal engineer, and ex-Royal engineers are known for being tough blokes.
Don't get blisters. You what boots you wearing? Go and shout out the boots you wearing.
I have actually got the army issue.
Yeah. No, I'm not having that. What, the black ones, not the blackish?
No. No, it's the brown ones, the AQ ones.
Oh, right, okay.
And tell us who you're raising money for.
For the RNLI, and it's also for a men's mental health charity called Men Talk.
Oh, lovely.
basically,
go on.
Basically, that they sort of like do, just get men who try and hide behind their barriers. Pretty much what I used to do.
Yeah.
And try and get lads together and, talk through their problems of all different scenarios, addiction, alcoholism, PTSD, the full Monty, like.
Yeah. Did they help you out, Ronnie? That charity, Men Talk?
No, not at the moment. Obviously, I don't think, a lot of people probably didn't take me seriously to start because I have been known to be a little bit spontaneous with my actions, and it has got me in trouble in the past.
Yeah. Interestingly, so I'm an ex-raw engineer myself, and
fellow sapper.
Last night, I think we have. Well, I know we have a mutual friend. So last night, Mick Knowles came down to see me.
Oh, right, yeah, Mickey Knowles. Yeah, I know him very well.
He speaks very highly of you, and he wants to ask me if you remember the Xmas Day or the Christmas Day food fight in which you wore your white dressing gown.
Yes, I do. And then the the Bravo sergeant was looking for me because he wanted to bang me up for the night because I started the fight. And then
in this white dressing gown.
No, I ended up putting a yellow raincoat on and these mittens. I'm like going around camp going, I'm in disguise, so you can't find me.
Mick also said that you were a PTI as well, and he said he has nightmares about you thrashing him and the blokes on crash mats when they'd fucked up making them do knees to chest.
Yeah, when we do circuit training, as soon as you walk past the mats, and if you ain't got your eye on them, they tend to slow down and stop, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
So I just always whip my head round, and if I catch anyone doing it, I get them on the blue mat, the punishment mat. Doing these
evil. Right, Ronnie, thanks for your time. What I'm going to do is I'll put all the links and your link to your Facebook page in our show notes.
Brilliant.
So, and what I'd like to do, obviously you've got my number. Just send me voice notes with updates and.
I do a video every day anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Sort of how my day's been. I don't know if you want me to send you that directly or.
Yeah, I mean, I can do something with that. Yeah, we'll definitely do something. And also, maybe we can book in another chat with you. And we can have a head-to-head quiz because we like a quiz on the
dear, I'm not very bright. I'm not very good at quizzes.
I've created it, and I'm renowned for making easy quizzes. It'll be Royal Engineers themed, and you can go head-to-head with Mick Knowles and see who's the winner.
That'll be fun, yeah.
Obviously, I'm biased, and Mick's my old staff sergeant, so he's going to lose. But
yeah, make sure you tell me all the answers.
Yeah, exactly. But cheers for your time, Ronnie. As I said, keep in contact. I'll give you a shout out, and good luck. That's all I can say.
Let's get funded.
Yeah, man. Excellent.
Yeah, all the best, mate.
Yeah, see you later, Ronnie.
All right. Yeah, take care, guys.
See you later,
Have a lovely day.
See you later.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
That's fucking incredible, isn't it?
3 years.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
And so he started in Ramsgate, which is Kent, southeast, and he's already down southwest.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like a month. Well, what did he say? Beginning of Feb, wasn't it?
6th of February.
I don't know why it's going to take 3 years. The rate he's going.
Yeah.
In the winter. Yeah, fair play.
That's a fucking effort.
Fair play to him.
So as I said, we'll in the show notes and all that stuff, I'll put Ronnie's details and.
It'd be good for. I've got a lot of mates down the southwest, Plymouth, Cornwall, Exeter, and that'd be good for people if they can
get behind him.
Yeah, throw a bottle of water in.
Yeah.
Or an egg.
Or an egg. Yeah. What's his name? Who was that? MP that had an egg thrown at him and he
John Prescott.
Yeah, that's it. Battered the bloke. Yeah. Happy days. Right, so we're almost at the end of episode 6. I think it's brilliant. I do enjoy having Chizard here. I think we're getting a bit smoother.
Yeah, and Claire from York's going to be happy.
Claire from York.
Oh, yeah, she loves me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Poster boy.
Yeah.
I'll get one sent out to you.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Claire from York.
Claire from York.
Some desperate old bird.
Quality. But yeah, what we've spoken about today. So it's been kit and equipment, the good, the bad, the ugly.
We've had a bit of news, bit of a gossip, a bit of a chat.
Yeah, mainly about the situation in, that whole thing with
Trump and Zelensky, yeah.
We've realised that Chizard doesn't like issued boots.
Yeah. Soft feet.
Yeah, got lovers' feet.
Trying to think, what else have we done?
What else have you done?
It's gone quite quick, hasn't it?
We spoke to Ronnie Barker.
Yeah, Ronnie Barker.
We spoke to Ronnie Barker. We're I still think we're lacking a bit of listener engagement. Like it seems to be the same old faces, like Stuttering Smithy, Rab, fucking, and obviously now, as you said earlier on, now that Chizard's on the podcast, it's one less person to message in, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I'll start making stories up next week.
Yeah,
we keep threatening it, don't we?
I've Ed. Suggest you start sending stories in, mate.
And then next week we're talking about life after the military. What do you reckon? Do you reckon that'll be a good one? You going to come back for that one?
I'm in Rome next week.
You're in Rome, are you?
Yeah, on a baby moon. Very much a
baby moon.
You heard? Yeah, you wouldn't have heard of it because it's this new fad which fucking pregnant women have locked onto, and basically that means when you get your missus up the duff, as if that's not going to be financially draining enough for you, they want you to take them on holiday before they give birth. So that's your baby moon.
What's your missus' name?
Gems.
Well done, Gems. Congratulations on bringing the new Chizard into the world. Male or female, do we know?
Male, get in there.
All right. So.
Future RAF Reg gunner.
Or it could, you never know, it could grow up to be gender neutral.
Yeah.
But don't say that.
Did you have one of these big reveals?
Nah. Well, they call it a hard launch, apparently it's called now, where you don't tell anyone. So we put nothing on social media. And then it's like, bam, fucking, they see Gem's big belly or a baby. And that's how they find out, basically.
All right, before we wrap this up, we want to hear from you. This podcast isn't just about us taking the piss out of each other. It's about veterans sharing their experiences, good and bad. And next week, we're tackling a big one, transitioning to Civvy Street.
That's right. We're talking about the highs, the lows, and the absolute shit show that's figuring out how to exist in the real world after military life. From job hunting to discovering that admin is actually a thing normal people do. We want to hear your best and worst transition stories.
Did you have a solid plan, or did you just wing it and hope for the best? Did resettlement actually help, or did you end up in a job that made you question all your life choices? And most importantly, how long did it take you to stop calling everyone mate and standing to attention when someone shouted your name?
You can get in touch with us on social media. Find us on Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Basically, search The Muster Point. Or if you've got a cracking story, send us a voice note on WhatsApp, especially if it involves job interviews gone wrong, first day civvy disasters, or struggling to function without a morning parade.
And a big shout out to all the organisations out there supporting veterans, whether it's mental health, career help, or just making sure no one's trying to fill out a CV in crayon. If you're doing good work for veterans, let us know and we'll give you a proper shout out in our next episode.
So make sure to subscribe to The Muster Point on your favourite podcast platform. Leave us a review and share this episode. Think of it like passing on vital military knowledge, except this time it might actually help someone.
Next week, we're diving into the wild world of civvy life. So brace yourself for stories of dodgy career moves, unexpected culture shocks, and the existential crisis of having to choose your own haircut.
You won't want to miss it. And with that, hooray! Fall out!
Yeah, good luck adjusting to that in Civvy Street.